Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, episode 182 at the home studio with Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Here's Chris.
And Lorenzo. Lorenzo's here. He's drinking out of the pond right now. Water bowl's right over here, Lorenzo.
He was in the hot tub.
Oh, he was in the hot tub. He was in the hot tub earlier. That crazy ass. God.
He's living the life of Riley, dude.
You know, I really want to come back as Lorenzo in my next life.
I'm telling you.
He's doing great.
Did you see that video of Lorenzo in the
doing
the yard?
The flip?
Doing the flip, trying to get out of the...
I can't tell you how many, and those of you that DM'd me and tagged me in that or whatever, that was freaking hilarious. So there's this IG clip of these couple donkeys in a pen, and this one donkey is like it's like a split rail fence, you know?
Exactly.
And so this donkey, you can see, kind of moves over and then like going to launch over the fence, and he clears his front legs, but the back legs hook up on the post, and he does a full somersault.
Oh, that had to hurt.
And right on the back, and the other donkey like runs over to him like, you freaking idiot.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, Lorenzo.
Exactly.
So that was pretty darn funny. So yeah, those of you that sent that to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey DM, thank you. That was highly entertaining.
Right.
And I watched it every time, everyone, the 20 plus of you that sent it to me.
There's something to be said about IG. There is some entertaining stuff on there.
I'll tell you what else was highly entertaining on IG was the TAC 1 Fab Carlos posting,
oh my God,
posting his reaction to the back end of the striker chassis getting cut off.
Yeah.
Dude, that was freaking priceless. I probably watched that over 25 times.
I'm telling you, that's internet gold.
That
right
is,
there.
and I was just, the whole thing, the Sawzall going through the last little cut, and the whole ass
Just
into the
falling,
car drops to the
clunk,
ground.
clunk, clunk. How did that not go viral? I mean, come on.
And then, so Carlos's reaction, his eyes getting huge, wide-eyed, and then putting his hand to his head and shaking it and going, "What the fuck?"
It was a work of art, man.
We are. We'll follow up. We're gonna have a little bonus episode, I think, here. So stay tuned for that one.
Right.
I'm gonna be moderating the battle between the creative juices between Jones and Carlos. So
Yeah,
TAC 1.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks. So, what other news? The Jesse Combs movie came out. Did you see it yet?
No, I've not seen it. I am not an
either.
HBO Max subscriber, so I got to figure out how I'm going to watch this.
I might be. We should have a watch night.
Yeah, we should. If you have it, maybe you could. I don't know if there's a way to share or something. We could do a watch party or something.
Yeah, I think we should
do
a watch party. It'd be fun to get maybe we'll get the pizza oven fired up and have some people over and watch it. That'd be fun to watch it with a group.
Hashtag Jason money.
I've heard good things about it.
I have too.
I don't know if you saw Terry Madden's response.
No, I've not.
Yeah, he was not real happy with how it all went down, and the footage that they put. I'm assuming at the end of the movie, where the car goes awry, was that card was destroyed. Terry said he destroyed that card.
Oh, I bet.
But the producer obviously saved it before it was destroyed and has the footage. And he never wanted to see that footage live day. He says there's no reason to see that footage. But, this is movie shit.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, and it's that human nature of people wanting to see a train wreck, right? And want to see the crash.
It's more than a train wreck.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, look at freeways. There's an accident, even if it's just a fender bender. Everybody's got to stop and look.
Yeah, rubberneckers.
And it's like, you go to races and you want to see carnage. You don't want to see death, but you want to see cars flipping through the air. The monster jam, the monster trucks freaking doing crazy backflips and stuff now, and tearing up their rigs, their junk, and but anyways, I don't know. I would like to see it, but I did watch Terry's IG post and definitely empathize with him, and he was cut out of the movie for whatever reason, and it's such a big part of Jesse's life, and you just begin to wonder what actually behind the scenes went on and why that all went down like that. But
well, we'll never know. I mean, that's personal stuff.
It is.
They were mates, and they weren't married, but they were definitely domestic partners, and that's a tough pill to swallow, and that's an emotional thing, and none of us can relate to that.
Brings it back up, and it's just so bad. But anyways, looking forward to seeing that. Such an inspiration, Jessie Combs, and I know she wanted to do a documentary. That Terry said, she wanted to do this documentary, but obviously didn't want the ending that it had. So
no, of course not.
But we'll see. I know some of you have probably seen it. So DM us, call on the hotline 408-800-5169, and let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
And hopefully before the next podcast, we'll get a viewing in on this thing.
That'd be great.
What else? What else is going on?
Well, SEMA's coming up.
Oh, SEMA.
And we're not going to be in attendance this year. We have been long too absent from SEMA. And you know what? COVID kind of put a damper on things. And, I will say that I love SEMA. I think it's exciting to go to the show to see all the new and exciting stuff, the cool builds, and, of course, to see the builds that were all scrapped together at the last second that have some questionable welds. And that's always fun to watch or look out for.
Yeah.
But it's just the energy at SEMA is super high.
Well, and the who's who. I mean, it's just fun walking the trade show floor and
absolutely
you never know who you're going to bump into.
But I mean,
you pop in, the trail chasers. I mean, you just come across them. I mean, ultra celebrities there.
I know, right?
It's like insane.
I know, right? Absolutely. I mean, you don't. I mean, and that was the tradition with our group. We'd go every other year, and we used to meet up with Jesse. And one year I met up with. Oh my God, I'm losing
Ian Johnson.
Ian Johnson, and then the guy from the other.
Oh, you were big on that deal, yeah. Dave? No,
I can't remember his name now. I'm losing it.
He was like a big car guy, obviously. TV show sounds like. I know the guy. I can picture his face. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, neither can I. But anyway, so I mean, but yeah, you're right. It's a who's who, and there's obviously Vegas has got high energy.
CRS.
That's right. And of course, leading up to SEMA this year, the release of the Hoonicorn.
Oh, I see, and I haven't seen that. I need to watch that tonight.
The Hoonatron. So it's on YouTube. You can, if you look up Hoonigan, and you can see Ken Block driving the Audi Hoonatron.
Dude, all electric, 1,000 horsepower.
Sick, all-wheel drive.
For all-wheel drive, right?
Dude, he shreds. That thing shreds
in
tires,
Las Vegas
on the strip.
I mean, those, that first Gymkhana video, it just like blew
with the
socks.
Chains and the all-wheel drive Mustang, turbocharged Mustang.
Yeah, everything. It's just like it is so freaking action-packed, fun, badass. Use every damn adjective you can come up with.
Exactly.
And they keep putting out these badass videos, and that's fun.
It's just, so if you haven't seen it, look up YouTube or go to YouTube and look up Hoonigan. Hoonatron, Hoonicorn, whatever keyword you want to use. Hoonatron, and it's this Audi all-wheel drive electric Audi, 1,000, like Jason said, 1,000 horsepower. He's on the strip. He literally goes into the lobby of one of the casinos on the strip.
Don't ruin it for me. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude. Anyway, it's badass. It's fucking badass.
I haven't seen it.
All right, moving on. We've given away enough stuff. So moving on and on and on. So this is actually the bumper, the intro for an interview that Jason did when he was down at King. I'm sorry, not King of the Hammers.
Shit.
Trail Hero.
And he's not even drinking tonight.
Trail here. No, I'm not. I mean, we did try a little bit of something, but we'll talk about that. Well,
apparently you tried a lot of something. I didn't. No. I don't know.
We're just sampling. But anyway,
tonight.
Jason interviewed a ton of people at Trail Hero. This is the last of the series. So what do you got?
Wrecked gear.
Woo!
So I'm sitting, getting ready for Trail Hero, all psyched up and watching the YouTube videos, and love the Wrecked Gear channel, YouTube channel.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching some of the Trail Hero stuff that they produced in the past, Bronson and Jess.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there, and so I'm like, I'm going to freaking DM them. and get on the old IG there and DM Bronson. I'm like, hey, man, love to hook up with you at Trail Hero for an interview if you're interested. And he's like, abso-freaking-lutely. I'm like, well, there you go. So
boom,
we made it happen. It was a ton of fun. We got to go wheeling out afterwards. And we wheeled a couple times together, albeit short the first time because poor Bill in our group with the Suzuki, highly modified, badass Suzuki, put a window in his transfer case at the beginning of Nasty Half.
That's not good.
No. Inspection windows are not good if they weren't there from the factory. But, so they had to move on, and then we ended up hooking up later in the week and going out and doing TNT Dynamite.
Nice.
Did that trail together, so that was fun. So anyways, that's how it all came together, just reaching out, fellow, content creator, and it's a great interview. Let's just roll right into that, huh, Chris?
Okay, sounds good. Boom.
All right, continuing with Trail Hero 2022. The fun just does not stop. It is freaking epic out here. Another beautiful morning, and I've got two special guests this morning. YouTube channel, Wrecked Gear. We got Bronson and Jess. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you.
All right.
Super stoked to be on here. Thank you so much for having us.
Right on. Yeah, I was at home getting ready for Trail Hero and exhausted after working on the buggy, and I'm like, I don't watch much TV, but I'm like, okay, I gotta see some of these trails and stuff. I've been here a couple times, but so I flipped onto your YouTube channel and I watched like 5 or 6 videos, all fired up. So then I started DMing you. I'm like, hey, you want to be on the podcast?
I think we had. Again, I'm bad with names, but I think we were talking to somebody on IG, and he was supposed to come out here. But then he had to go to Zanny's funeral, so we missed it. But he was telling us that he knew you guys.
Justin.
That's
Justin
right.
Q. He's got the purple buggy, Eric Wicks's old trail buggy. It's a Twisted Customs like yours.
That's right. He was super stoked to come wheel.
Oh, yeah.
And he had me all turned up. I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to go do Twisted things. And, a week before, he's like, man, we've been talking about it for a while. And he's like, man, I got to go to this funeral in Texas. And he's like, it's for Zandy and stuff. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. We're going to catch some trails at either the Hammers or whatever.
For sure.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Trails in the future.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he was really bummed. He's FOMOing big time right now. I get these little sad face emoji text from him, we'll be there. Yeah. But no, he's cool. He dove right in the deep end. He went from 2 wheels, motorcycles, to this 4-wheel drive thing, and got that buggy that's very capable. And just every weekend he was going out after he got it. So
it's
addicting.
It is.
It's funny, man. There's a lot of people who go from the motorcycles right into the deep end of crawling. Like fast track. I didn't do much motorcycle stuff, but I was always in a 4-wheel, and I ding ding, to was going up the line to where we got to. But I hear a lot of these motorcycle guys, it's such a good transition for them,
Well, a lot of these, they're adrenaline junkies, I guess, to a certain extent, right? So, yesterday, I was up there watching the LCQ for the Trailbreaker, and John Hamill, I hope I pronounced that right, he's Mad Cow. Yep. And so, Glenn Plake's up there announcing and, skier stuff, and I did not know John had the fastest ski record, 153 miles an hour or something on skis.
Holy moly.
Are you
did
freaking
not know
kidding?
that.
So it's gotten beat, but only by a couple miles an hour. And so it's like, dude. So, it's just the backgrounds you start learning of some of these people that get into this hobby sport and go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We're doing things a lot slower, but it's still some wicked stuff, especially out here.
It's definitely high stakes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have any fancy backgrounds. We're just a bunch of trail wheelers. But
you didn't set any land speed records or anything?
Not recently.
So let's talk about how you got started in off-roading, four-wheeling and stuff.
We have a crazy... I've done it my whole life, and I had family in Cortez, Colorado, and what really got me the bug was I was 13, 14, being up there in the summers, and my gramps was always into Jeeps, and so, of course, I was like, I gotta have a Jeep. That's gotta be my first car, and Well, being in Cortez, Colorado, that's where Jimmy's 4x4 was.
Okay,
but
yes.
when I met Randy and Cotton, well, when Cotton was still around, Randy and Cotton, he was working in the back of his dad's transmission shop, and he had like really nice big built 1-ton Jeeps, and that was like the top tier stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, oh man, one day I got to do this. And then we're super close to Moab, so we'd go visit Moab. And being a kid, watching all that stuff, I'm like, and no one in my family, none of my friends were into 4-wheel drive, you know, where I was from. But I was just like, I gotta have something like this. So it's always been a long-term goal, and always stopping in Randy's shop. Like he
shop.
Did he let me sweep the floors and kind of like walk around the front and talk shop and stuff? And you know, that's when he was doing like transmissions for Avalanche Engineering. Like I don't know if you remember those guys.
I
those
do.
Guys were old school, man. Like, and it was like the big thing having that BFG old school rig on the BFG poster. I don't know if you remember that orange poster they used to have, but it was like the carnivore crawler.
That was a badass car, yes.
Dude, I remember that was so crazy. And then all of a sudden, Randy was doing timed rock crawling, and then they were getting into hammers, and then he blew up, and like just watching his progression, always wanted to, like, I don't know, I was always behind because I was just like, man, I want to be like them. And it took me quite a few years, but we were there. But that's kind of my background, just always chasing the trail and trying to always advance. But we have like the coolest way how we met up.
Okay.
It was amazing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I was like a president of our local club for wheeling because I couldn't get off the trails every weekend. And I was all so.
Well, and he wanted to build the community local where we were because he had nobody to wheel with.
Okay.
And so when he got in a crappy position, he had nobody to come save him.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, I got to build up those local communities so that nobody's in my position.
Sure.
When they're out here enjoying the sport, you know.
That's rule number one is don't go out wheeling by yourself.
It was
Right.
kind of a selfish means to build a wheeling community. We built it big. Like we had zero community, and we built it to where it's like one of the best communities. And it was all selfish because I had no one that would wheel with me. I'm like, oh man, I need someone to wheel with.
Yeah.
But during that time, she was trying to jump on one of these Facebook clubs that I was co-managing as well. And as she jumped on, I was like, I added it on there, and I think we talked a little bit. I was,
he started harassing me because I was in between Jeeps at the time.
Oh,
she didn't have a rig.
He was like, "You don't have a rig. What you can't join this search and rescue group.
Yeah,
what are you doing?"
I'm like, what are you gonna do? Come in here and
I got
wheel,
upset. I was like, you know what?
Wheel.
I'm getting a Cherokee soon, so you can, can do whatever you're gonna do. Whatever.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's like, "What are those 40s on your Jeep?" I was like, "42s," and she's like, "Man, what you guys do is pretty hardcore." But she's like, "I wheel, so don't worry about it." And I was like,
"Nice, holding your own."
Something to prove, I guess.
Yeah,
she's spicy. But we ended up. I was just like, "Hey, if you ever want to go out, like everybody has an open seat, man. So you can go out and go ride in like 10 rigs,
Yeah.
And sure enough, she drove up like an hour away.
Oh, it was 2 hours.
2 hours improv too, just like kind of showed up on a whim.
So he's like, "You want to go wheeling?" And we had that 40s conversation. He's all 42s. I'm like, "Yes, I want to go wheeling. Absolutely."
There you go.
And so then he's like, "All right, cool. Meet me at this gas station to go hit Smasher Trail, which is something local up by us."
Okay.
And he's like, "Meet me there at 5 a.m. And I'm 2 hours away. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "I want to go.
You're making this happen.
I need to make this happen.
All
I'm
right.
like, that rig is cool. I want to go wheeling." And so I actually had plans the night before, and it was like a late night thing. So I was like, man, if I go to sleep, I'm not waking up to drive 2 hours to be somewhere at 5 a.m.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just not going to sleep. So I
pulled an all-nighter.
Showered, got ready, went messed around at Walmart, got snacks and stuff, and then drove through the night up there. Woke him up at 4:30 in the morning and was like, "Hey, where are you?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" Him and his buddies were placing bets that I wasn't showing up.
Oh. She was coming, so we're just like, whatever, she shows up, cool. But it was really cool because we met up, went to the trail, and I was just starting getting serious in YouTube. I had an account for a while, put a video up twice a year, of a fun trip or something. Well, we go out there, and I remember we're just starting this trail, and I just hand her a camera. I was like, "All right, go over there and film." She's like, Okay. You know,
what do I do?
But yeah, she's like, what do I do with my hands? I'm like, I don't know, just point it this way.
I mean, I'm just like, just hold it steady.
So like the first time we met, we had a video and it's still up there. It's really cool. Like, so.
Right on.
Yeah, you have to go back in the archives.
So how far back is that? What year are we talking now?
This was probably 4 years ago.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
And how old is the channel?
I've had it for like 8 years, but like I said, I was just, everyone's like, well, I'm gonna do a YouTube thing, and then I'd put a video like once a year. Then it was like 2 or 3 times a year. We got serious about. I mean, even when we met, we weren't. I was doing it more because I was enjoying like the process of editing and trying to make wheeling exciting, because that's like the hardest part.
Yeah,
we do slow technical crawling, so like people's attention span are like.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to watch you spin tires and back and forth to find the right line. So trying to make it interesting was a huge challenge for me. So I wanted to do that. But anyway, yeah, our whole like meeting like happened on the channel. So like it's cool. It's really cool. Like if you go deep, you'll really see like the progression of us.
Okay.
That day was cool too. We spent like 12 hours on the trail, and we did like 3 trails. And then, like, went and had dinner in Jerome, which was a cool ghost town. And
this is in Colorado, really cool. Or?
This is Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah,
okay.
Northern Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, we're based like, well, it's kind of, everyone calls it northern, but it's like central. We're kind of based out of the Prescott area.
Got it.
Yeah.
But, so that's how we met. She's got a background where she just kind of...
Mine isn't as exciting, but it's kind of cool, I feel like it's more realistic as to like what we kind of promote other people with our channel. Is I grew up, my dad had a K5 Blazer.
Perfect.
That was his truck. It was named Clarabelle. No idea, but that was his truck.
That's a unique
and
name.
We loved it. It was our rig, and it was just a stock truck, like nothing exciting. But he would take me and my brother out, and we'd go camping, 4-wheeling, and just his idea was get out of the city, because we were in like the Phoenix area. So just get out of the city, get away from the people, and just enjoy life and nature and the slower pace, and just kind of go have fun. You know, go play in a river or a lake or go camping. So
perfect.
I grew up doing that, and then kind of got out of it as like a teenager. Teenager girl. I didn't want anything to do with that. And then I'd say like my early 20s, I kind of refound off-road and rock crawling and stuff, and was kind of building up myself when I met him.
That's
and
cool.
Then we've kind of just built ourselves up together since then.
We've been super lucky to like share the same passions. Like I can't say enough like how cool it is when you're like, like I see a lot of my buddies, they're like, oh man, let's go wheeling, but I gotta go, I gotta check to make sure it's okay. And it's like me, like sometimes I'm like, oh man, we've wheeled like the last 26 weekends. I'm like, oh man, is she gonna kill me if I ask? I'm like, hey, man, if we go, she's like, oh yeah, where are we going? Like she's as excited as I am.
Cool.
And our daughter as well. Yeah. She's almost as bad, if not worse than us. She's like, anytime she'll go out there, wheel with us, helps pick up trash, and then she gets out for the big stuff, and she likes to rock climb, and then she'll sit and watch us and dirtbag us. Like, she's like, oh, you're definitely going to roll on this one. I'm like, whoa, take
easy. Take it easy.
Yeah.
But our whole family dynamic's pretty rad, because we all...
They're passionate about it. That's cool. Yeah, you share that passion.
Yeah, poor Bronson doesn't get to do guys trips.
Oh, really?
He'll have somebody. Let's go do a guys trip.
Everybody knows.
And Bronson's over here like, yeah, me and Jess are coming, and they're like, no, and he's like, I'm not going then.
And then they're like, okay, I guess. Okay, Colby can go too.
Yeah, perfect. Well, you guys can hang, so that's awesome. It makes it fun out there, especially when you got the whole family. Yeah. It's not like, I've got some friends, their wives are like sitting there reading their book, and we're out, working on a rig or something. So it's nothing real exciting, but it's like, and then you don't see them come on a trail again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and then there's others that love it. So
I think I'm more of the type of like, why did that break? What happened? What's going on here? Why is this built that way?
Sure.
Well, wheeling can be tough, man.
Oh,
because, that's the thing is like a lot of people, some people that are like new to wheeling with us are like, all right, cool. So we're going to get on the trail at 7, sweet. So what time should we expect to be back? And I'm like, theoretically, it should be a 2-3 hour trail.
Sure.
I was like,
3 hours.
But I can't tell you how many times that we've started and spent 20 hours on a trail.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we've built campfires on trails trying to fix rigs. So.
Yeah, staying warm.
So that was part of my thought process last night. I was extremely tired, really wanted to go on a night run, but I go, somebody's going to break tonight, and we're going to be coming in at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. I'm like, I ain't doing that tonight. It might have not happened, but the possibility was there, especially with this group. So I go, you know what? Let's just stay here and chill and camp. So it was a very good decision because I woke up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed this morning and ready to go. So yeah.
But yeah, so we kind of dove off the deep end. You know, I had a super. I mean, I had a TJ that I named Floozy because she was just like so good looking. But I always got, like, she was dirty. She'd go do, like, I'd go chase buggy guys, but I'd always keep my tub super clean. Like, that was my goal was, like, it's always been to wheel as clean as I can because it's less expensive. And I always had in my head, like, if I can go through something someone bashed their rig through and I can do it clean, I think I'm a better wheeler if I do that.
There you go.
I kept that mentality, had that TJ for a while, and we did a lot of cool stuff with that thing, but we just kind of, like, maxed it out. Like, and,
that wasn't your first rig, though, was it?
No.
It was not. That was like my first good build.
Wheeler,
didn't break a lot. Had it dialed.
1-ton rig.
Got it.
Yeah.
Had it for like 4 years and really maxed out a lot of the stuff that I could do with it. And
really fine-tuned his Jeep wheeling skills.
There you go.
And then I was just like, well, I'm going to bypass just going through the buggy stage and going straight to rear steer because I had a bunch of friends with rear steers and they're just like, this is the way.
Well, we were looking at buggies. We didn't plan on buying a rear steer. It was kind of one of those, like, the right deal.
If we could, we would.
Right.
Just so happened.
I mean, who wouldn't buy a rear steer if they could?
Exactly. I know.
But, it just kind of presented itself, so we kind of got lucky, but we skipped a step.
Well, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
And we got right into that, and I think our first trail we ran into... Forrest Wang, which is, he's one of the, I mean, I got to give that guy probably 80% credit as to how I grew so fast on technicality and wheeling because he's like the perfect pusher. He's super intense. Like he's lived his whole life on an adrenaline rush, you know, so he's really good at pushing. He's super humble, like, and he's pushed us to where we just leaped and bounded in the rear steer world, you know, like, I would have taken me like 2-3 years if I didn't run into this guy to push me just the right way, you know?
And that's a great point because, you know, it's like anything, though. If you go out with some people that are, quote-unquote, better than you or more experienced, I guess would be proper term, but they will. They're going to help you learn and push those limits. And, I mean, I love it, especially out here this week. I try to go with people that, you know, with 4-steer buggies and stuff that's crazy, you know, wheeling, and let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can make this buggy do and learn some techniques, you know. And it's great because, you know, we all joke around. There's the camaraderie out there and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, they're like, hey, here's what you should have done. You should have, you know, pulled out the rear, just did a front dig here, and that would have, you know, or then you get out there and they're showing you this stuff and it's like, okay, the light bulb starts going on, and each trail you just get better and better, and learning these different little
you gotta have someone to push you, man.
Yeah,
because you know there's so many things that you're like, I better be safe, and then they're like, no, you can do it. Like you got to do it. They're like, not only can you do it, you're doing it. And you're like, no. And
that's the other, you know, creating a encouraging environment because we've got other people that you know look up to me and go, okay, well, you know, can I make it? I'm like, yeah, we're gonna make it. You know, we're gonna take our time. And if something gets all wonky, it's like, okay, whoa, let's just take a second. We can put a line on you. We could back you up. We got some options here. We're not going to roll anybody, you know, on purpose at least. Mm-hmm. So it's a good group, and you know, just like I'm sure with your buddies and stuff, you trust them. You know, if they say, hey, hard driver, you're turning hard driver.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Well, it's nice to wheel with people that know like your driving capabilities as well as your vehicle's capabilities.
Yes,
because there's been times
key things
where Forrest has been sitting there watching us on an obstacle, and he's like, "I know your rig can do this. Like, I know you can do this.
Right?
Like, you're good.
I don't think
you
I
got
know,
this.
I don't think I'm not too sure, man.
I'm picking that
like,
up.
Not today. And he's like,
we're just the camera guys.
Yes, today. He's like, yes, today. I'm like,
oh yeah.
But
and it usually ends up fine.
Right.
So.
But we've done really well, and I mean, he moved to Arizona shortly before we had met, so it was cool. Like we got to kind of find the bigger trails.
Okay.
And we got down good. And I mean, we were, it kind of all came together because I was just getting better at editing to where I felt that I was like, okay, I'm good enough to edit this kind of content, like, and give it some justice. And we have such a cool style because when we go out and film a trail, it's never like, all right, stop. Or like, all right, hang on, we got to get the shot ready. Like, we just wheel because I refuse to like take my friend's time. We're all going out there. Like, I refuse to slow them down. Like, every once in a while.
With the video, yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, can we change the battery? Or like, can we just hang for another minute?
Sure.
On a break that we're doing. And they're usually always cool with it.
Sure.
But we never, like, it's
we don't want to slow it down.
We'll go out there and me and her like going crazy. I'll be wheeling like crazy. I'll be throwing a drone.
Right.
She'll be getting an angle. We never asked anyone to stop. If we miss a shot, man, that was like, it's okay.
There's been a couple rollovers we've missed.
Yeah.
Like, dang.
Yeah. I almost missed one on 2 days ago. I was recording with a phone, nothing fancy. And I'm like, the rollover happened. I'm like, am I recording? And I went to hit the button, and I just missed it landing on the lid, but I got the rollover. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm like amateur photographer here. Just like, let it roll. Let the camera roll,
I cannot film with a camera phone. I've tried, but I always mess it up. I always think I press record, and it's just sitting there, me holding it like an idiot.
Now that you didn't catch the
and then like I'll have somebody, did you get that? And I'm like, yeah. And then I look and be like, no. I'm a little dumb. I'm sorry.
Well, talking about like, I don't know, like videoing wheeling issues, man. Like, I can't say how many times you sit there. You'll be like recording for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, I'm done. And the second you turn it off, timber.
Yeah,
like, oh
exactly.
My gosh.
That's exactly it. And you know better because you've done it sometimes. I've done it 100 times too. It's like something's going to happen here, good, bad, or indifferent. And it's like getting tired of holding the phone and then, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, after 20 minutes, you're just like, all right, it's not going to happen.
I get in some interesting spots also because of the way we're filming is just as it's happening. If we get it. Well, I'll be standing in between two rigs. Like, here will be Forrest in front of me, and there will be Bronson behind me, and they're both on different obstacles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, which
do I
one
watch?
do I film?
You got two cameras.
Who's doing something that's worth filming right now? And so I'm always like back and forth. And there's been a couple times I'll just grab another camera and like
there you go.
You go. But
we've gotten like she's gotten so good. Like we video so safely in these environments because we do. It's pretty chaotic the stuff we do. I mean we have rollovers usually every other video. Like we get quite a few, and we get like sticky stuff on like where you roll on the side, and then we have super tight trails in Arizona. Everything's super tight. But, like we do such a good job getting angles, but like staying safe, and we always promote that. We get a lot of people like, we want to do a YouTube channel. What advice do you have? I'm like, well, you stick with it. First of all, it's like second of all, like. Always make sure you know where you're at because I watch so many things happen so quickly, or someone's sitting there and they just expect that nothing will happen because a person's a good driver, but anything can happen, man.
Yeah.
We're pushing the limits.
Parts can fail too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that one I was sitting there and I'm like, man, if this front U-joint blows, this could get ugly real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Stuff like that you've seen out on the trail, and this stuff's all going through your mind when you're in those situations. But I love the way you guys. It's like if you were recording us going out. It's not like this. It's very real. I guess is where I want to say it's very real. It's not. Oh well, look here, we got so and so over here with Dynatrack axles and throwing in all this shit. Right? It's like no, you're out there wheeling. You're documenting it. And you're not making this, you are making a movie production, but it's, what I'm saying? It's not made up. It's not, it's something real life. And then your whole message of keeping the trails clean and showing you guys and your daughter picking up cans and stuff off the trail and making it a big point of the video. Mm-hmm. And I love that because, we all know we see all that trash out there, and it's really good to promote keeping trails clean and all that. So how'd that start with you guys? Well,
first I just want to say we're always trying to make sure we keep it authentic with our videos. That's a really important part.
Authentic is a great word.
Yeah, because we see some that are more production, which is awesome. They have the means to do that. But for us, I'm like, I want to just be like who we are, doing what we do. Because in reality, that's what we're doing. We're just filming what we're doing anyways. Like,
Right.
we're going to be doing that whether or not we have a camera. So being authentic for me is like so important.
And we're really documenting the memories that was the main thing. Like, the whole reason I got into YouTube was to go back and have a memory of me and my friends doing something fun. We could always look back and be like,
Right.
You know, you tell those stories like, oh man, and you're telling somebody and they're like, yeah, whatever. And it's like, no, like, we can go back and show you, like, we had a good time. And like, years later, you can go back and look and be like, that was such a cool trip. And like, there's been times where we watch it with our friends and been like, remember that? We just throw it on and we're like, then all we want to do is go do that trail again because we get all hyped and amped. And that was the reason we got into it. And we wanted to keep it authentic for ourselves. And then that just became our style. And that's what we want. Like, there's been times where we're like, well, it'd be cool if we had this idea. And like, we kind of had like this fun spin. And then we don't even know what to do that. We kind of thought about it and we're like, that's dumb.
Well, that'd be neat.
Let's just go do what we do. Like, we have so much fun on the trail and there's so much action. So like, idiocracies that just happen. Like, we don't need anything else. We just got to roll. We just got to roll with it and kind of.
Well,
make
and
it
on that
happen.
memory part, that it's super true because we just had our dog pass away in December.
Oh, yeah.
Our dog Kimber. And
Yeah.
it was kind of nice because, you know, when all that happened, we had those memories to look back on. And we're
Right.
like, look at her running around on the beach here at San Hollow. Or like camping in Payson. Like, she loved that. And you're like, oh, like, that was cool, you know? So that was neat. And as far as like the trash thing goes, I just want to let you know it's so awkward to film yourself like picking up and trash, because it's like one of those things like that is something we want to promote.
Sure.
But it's like, you know, giving $100 or food to like the homeless guy.
Right. You're like,
You
oh,
don't-
look what I'm doing or whatever.
Yeah, like you're like,
struggle
I'm
with
not
that.
doing it like
But it's-
to be something. I'm like, I'm doing it to
It
promote
doesn't-
it, but it's so awkward.
It doesn't come across awkward at all, I don't think.
For
Well, I
us,
just
it
want
did
you to
for a
know,
while
for
because
me.
we felt it was like cringy, but it was cool because we've had these friends. They're called natural restorations. They're in Arizona, and they do like, they clean up all the shooting areas, do all the grants, and they're like super hardcore. They won't clean a trail or clean because Arizona's got a lot of shutdowns going on. You know,
Yeah.
they will not go clean a trail or a shooting area to have it shut down. If they're wanting to shut it down, they won't do anything with the grant, and they'll try to fight it.
Okay.
And they'll try to reason and say, we will clean it up, or we'll do a discount rate, or we'll make this happen, and to make sure it stays open. So
Right.
so we've always worked with them. So like, it's been instilled with our roots for so long, like the difference they make. And we've always been cleaning the trail kind of people because we love our deserts. But working with them, it was like, dude, this is what we do. And we pick up so much more trash when we video because we cringe a little bit.
Sure.
And like, we don't want to be like, hey man, like this whole video is picking up trash because there's sometimes that much trash.
Sure.
And then, but we did sit down and think about it. We're like, well, now we're kind of doing some cool stuff. We get a lot of the younger crowd getting into wheeling and stuff that are wanting to be like super hardcore, and they're like, yeah, this is crazy. And then we're like, well, we kind of want to influence differently. If we have any influence power, we want them to be like, wow, they're doing some crazy cool stuff, but like, they're cleaning the trail, so we want to be that cool, and if they're doing it, we should do it. And honestly, we've seen the effect happen like directly. We've gone out with people and they'll pick up trash and show us, and I'm like,
See, that's cool.
and you're kind of like,
that's cool.
you're like, we get it, man, but I hope you're picking it up when we're not here. But like, still, it came across your mind.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's going to come across your mind when you're by yourself
See,
too.
yeah,
So.
that's awesome.
And the reality of it is, like, we can't pick up every piece of trash,
No.
And
No.
it's kind of one of those things, like, we do promote picking up the trails to keep them open.
Right.
But it's, like, within reason. Like, you're out there to do what you're doing. So, like, if you see a piece of trash, like, pick it up. But, like, don't, like, kill yourself over
Well,
it.
yeah, you're out there having fun, but you see something, pick it up, throw it in the trash bag. But we do have trail cleanup days that are dedicated to that. That we do, and you're going out there with gloves and a couple trash bags,
Exactly.
and going to town, and that's that day. But yeah, good point.
Popular areas, that's super effective, but
Yes.
some of the stuff we go to is not super
Yeah.
popular. And my whole idea is you don't. Why should one or two people clean up everything?
Yep.
I was like, if we could have, I mean, just
doing your part.
50% of the wheelers, if they could just pick up one thing on the trail, there would be nothing ever on the trails. Yeah. And honestly, and I want to bring up another point, is a lot of people watch, like, we get comments on there like, why are wheelers so messy? Like, and it's almost like comes off as negative sometimes because we're picking up so much trash. But what a lot of people don't know, and I try to throw that in every few videos, is a lot of the trash on the trails wash out from upper roads.
Right.
And people don't realize that, but we pick up so much. Like, if you see a pile of, like, soda cans, like, you're like, all right, this guy sucks.
Right.
Or you see parts, you're like, all right, that guy sucks. Come on. I know you had a bad day.
Sure.
Come on, like,
pick up your broken
don't make someone
joint.
else's bad day. But I would say most of the trash we see is just like, you know, like, I mean, we've picked up some weird stuff like shoes, like you know, like no one's like leaving the trail without their flip flop.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Or like some weird like stuff you'd see that are in like the sides of the ditches of roads. But when we get big rains, it just washes it all down. So we feel really good about doing our part of cleaning up the stuff that most people don't see.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I try to bring some light because some people get on there and they're like, oh, you guys are picking up on wheeling trail, so it must be wheelers, and it's not the case.
Yeah.
I'd say 80% of it's washout trash.
Interesting, yeah.
And people don't think about that.
You guys get those big flash floods out there in Arizona that just goalie washers, man, that just,
even in our
check
neighborhood,
out up here, man.
This was
whole
insane.
Sand Hollow's been ripped apart and changed, which is cool, but that much will move everything from up top where a lot of population is right on down into the trails.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, good point. Good point. So, so talk about your buggy here. So you've had it for how long now?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years. This buggy is got a wild life. You know, it was built, I think, in 05 or 07 by Twisted, and
Twisted Custom.
Yeah, Twisted Customs. And it was just a drag axle. It was I believe a comp car, and it had like one of the goofy. I think they had like a Ford. I don't think it was a Ford Focus.
Maybe it was something like that.
It was a goofy Ford Focus hood on it, and a buddy of ours had bought it, and he'd always been a Twisted fan, and he had bought it, and you know, obviously got rid of that, and he put the caddy hood on there, so that did a lot of justice, and I think it was converted before he got it to a rear steer with some trail gear axles, you know, and he went out and broke that like crazy because
it was like a 35 spline, wasn't it?
He broke it a bunch, and then he put the spider tracks under it, and then Paul with Bent Fab in Arizona, he did like all the fab work on the axles. He chopped the cage, he redid the front geometry to where he like reworked a lot of the twisted, but the whole center section still twisted, and he kept every twisted line for the heritage and respect because Dustin was such a fan. So we get asked a lot. They're like, "Who built your buggy? Like, where do I get one just like that?" I'm like, "Dude, this thing's had such a long history. Like, it's all up to date, and it's a very up-to-date trail rig. It's not a portal comp car, but a strong trail rig. It's pretty up-to-date, but like you're not going to find one like it because it's been built by like 3 or 4 people, and then like every owner's put their flair on it. You know, this
just
thing's
like we've put ours there,
compared to when we bought it.
Right.
So it's like tough. I'm like, well, I try to point him to like the most similar styles. You know, like Paul with Bent Fab, he's got some similar chassis, but yeah, we ended up getting that about 2 years ago. We've done our renditions. We, you know, put the Jimmy's hood on there, made our own panels, learned a lot. We haven't done buggy stuff, so it was a big learning curve. I blew the motor in like 3 months of owning it, threw down a shell of cash to get it.
Oh, well, not only that, but we blew the motor and the third member in the same day.
Oh,
which is
there's a video on that. It was an expensive day.
Big money.
So I was all brokenhearted on the motor. I was like, oh my gosh, no, you can't break anything more expensive than the motor. Well, that same trip, I blew the gearworks, and I got news for you. The gearworks was more expensive than the motor.
It was,
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But those were our big, like, transitional, you know, whenever you get something, you know, these things have been used, you know, and everything's a wearing part. So, you know, the last owner, it wasn't like it was for sale because everything was going. It was just by chance, you know.
Yeah.
So, but after that, it's been pretty dialed. A couple little knickknacks and stuff for things that we've trashed on it and kept it together, and
So what was it like going from the drag axle TJ you said you had to this 4-steer buggy?
That was such a good question because so when I was in the TJ, I used to follow buggies, and I had this sweet excuse, man. Like, they'd do something like, "Oh, all right, you got to do it," and I'd be like, "Buddy, I'm in a Jeep. I don't have to do it."
Right.
But I would do a lot of stuff, so I had a lot of respect, but I always had an easy out on anything. Now I'm in this.
Yeah, you're expected to do it.
You don't. There is It's like, oh, I'm in a rear steer 40 spline, pretty capable car. Like, I can't do that. They're like,
yeah. No,
you're a weenie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Where I had a pretty good scapegoat. And then, the transition of you have so much to think about now. Like, it was so, I kind of miss you always, on a drag axle car, you don't ever have to think or look at your rear axle or think of where it's at or remember.
Other than your initial,
You're like, okay,
line.
You're thinking about where it's going to follow. It's always
second
following.
nature. You just put your fronts.
Sure.
And you already know where it's going to be. Right. It's like walking, But with the rear now, it helps you so much. But then a lot of times, if you forget, if you go up something and you had to get some traction in the rear and you're moving it back and forth, and then you forget that you have it cocked sideways, and then you start getting tippy and you throw it in reverse, you're going to throw yourself into an instant spiral on your lid. Remembering that stuff. And I had a really good transitional period because Forrest took me under his wing, and he pushed me just right. I was super. When I got into it, I was like, I'm going to go wild on the flats just to try to get that second nature going.
Sure.
But then when I'd get on the trail, I was like, I'm going to use it as little as possible. And when I need it, I'm going to do small increments, because that's the advice everyone gave me. And I was like that. And then Forrest.
I feel like that's the advice of drag axles that don't have a rear steer. So
yeah.
In theory, that's what you would want to do. But it's no, you got to use it to learn.
Yeah, we jumped into it. And then Forrest is immediately like, what are you doing? Use that thing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm kind of scared. And he's like, maybe you shouldn't have got one. I'm like,
Bronson's over here. I'm kind of a weenie.
I was like, well, what if I don't get it straight? He's like, then get it straight. I don't know what to tell you. He was so funny in the way he taught me how to wheel, because he's so positive, but he's so realistic. He's just like it's there. Well, what if I do that? Well, why would you do that?
Sure.
Put it back. You're already thinking about it. Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm touche. Yeah. That's good, bud.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's that seat time.
Yeah.
And once you get it, it does make, I have to say, a lot of people are like, oh, do you need rear steer? I'd say a lot of trails you don't. But the pleasure of the trail, being able to snake around things and weave, and it's more fluid, and you don't have to do any backups. You do, but it's so little that you can almost burn trails twice as fast.
Oh.
And it's super smooth, missing all the big rocks that you would just take over with the drag axle. So there's been a lot of parts, and
it also
was so
kind of opens up new lines too.
Sure.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess after we got the rear steer, I kind of started looking at trails differently.
Okay.
Because now it's we could do this and kind of just, like you said, snake up there and just get, if we just do it this way. But now I'm looking at kind of some other, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe you can't do that in that rig. And so it changes your view on the trail also.
Sure.
Your perception of the trail.
What's super cool, I want to reel back to this, is we have such a cool asset on our channel. We wheel with Virgil. He has that Rock Lizard Toyota. I don't know if you've seen it on there.
Yep.
But he's got that old school look. He is such a phenomenal driver, and it's such a cool added value to our channel, because I want to relate to everybody, and we do have a lot of rear steers. When you wheel with rear steers, you kind of
you congregate together.
Yeah.
It's like Toyotas.
Well, he comes in.
And Jeeps.
Jeeps.
Yeah. But he comes in, and that guy follows us, and he does almost 85% of what we'll do in a pretty basic built, good, solid drag axle. And it's awesome, because it gives, I can't tell you how many people go on there and be like, that guy in the Toyota buggy, how is he following you guys? I'm like,
It's just like wheeling. It's just like wheeling with like a samurai.
Yeah.
You're in a Jeep.
Yeah.
So the samurais, they make you look bad, man. Those things can go over anything.
Yeah.
But that's like how our buddy Virgil is in that Rock Lizard. He'll Forrest and Bronson will struggle on some of these with their rear steer. And then Virgil will kind of play on it a little and then just like one shot. And you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
How?
Well, and he's done it so long, like he can make he's taught me so much that I never knew about drag axle. Like, we'll go up something. I'm like, how are you going to get your tires over there? And he's like, okay, watch this. He puts it in a rear dig, and he'll have his front tires over an obstacle, and then he'll rear dig and move his fronts, which pushes his rear around and then engages it. I'm like, why did I even buy a rear?
Yeah,
dig,
right.
Man? Like,
right.
I spent a lot of money on why.
That's some We Rock tricks right there.
Right, exactly.
And he's done a lot of We Rock spotting. He's done a lot of We Rock comms. So he is a really good driver.
He uses all the tools in his bag.
But we love having someone super relatable on that channel, because anyone who's not, if they're like, I don't want a rear steer and stuff like that, like, you don't have to have one. And it gets more complicated when you get a rear steer. It does take a lot more focus and stuff, but it's cool watching him be able to go do almost everything we do. Like, and he never shies away from a trail. If he'll tell you, if I need a winch, but then on the other side, he's done 4 or 5 lines. He does 4 or 5 lines almost a month that we didn't, because he's narrower, or he has a different way of going about it. And we're just like, me and Forrest are at the bottom of the obstacle, like, why?
Yeah.
Why can you?
And I'm over here sick.
Yeah. It's humbling when you watch people like that, but you appreciate those really good drivers in rigs, and it's knowing your rig's capabilities, knowing your capabilities, and getting out there and getting after it and trying some stuff, and a little luck's involved too sometimes, but it's I love it. I mean, the technicality of it, the whole thing, and just watching vehicles work an obstacle.
And it's pretty cool. So just to circle back around to the channel, like, I guess the biggest goals in it was, we have a family, we have a daughter. It's really hard with 2-seat chassis to make that happen. And we get questions all the time, like, how do you get your daughter out there? And how do you do this? Like, it seems so unrealistic for a family and stuff. And like, it's so cool to be able to like relay to them, like, hey man, you'll probably have a friend that's pretty okay with your kid that can give him a seat, because she's getting here today, and luckily her grandparents are coming up with a razor, so we got like lucked out, so that way we can do a bunch of busy work. But if not, like, we were like, oh, she'll just come with us, and she'll either jump in with Forrest or Virgil, or someone we may have just met that we're like, yeah, this guy, we talked to this guy a few times, we're going to be right with him, and he looks like he wheels good. Like, Colby usually hops out and likes to walk the trail anyway, and dirtbag people, so she'll just ride to the trail, and it's like, she's,
I love that.
She's been around us too much. Do it, you wussy. And she's up there like, oh, this is how we talk on the trail, But being a kid, sometimes she'll do it like too much. We had a buddy that just got a brand new portal rig, and he went down this waterfall, and it's gnarly. It's one of the scariest drop-offs I've ever done. And he went down. Well, before he was going out, he's super nervous. I mean, it's a gnarly drop. And Colby's up there like cool and collected, and she's like, he's gonna roll. And she said, kids, they don't mean.
There's no filter.
She's proud of herself for like understanding that there's a chance.
Right.
But she's all up there calm and collected, and she said it like kids amplify a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not like, hey mom, he's gonna roll.
Right.
She's like, he's gonna roll. And he like looks over like, what?
What did you?
And then of course
he rolls.
He goes over, and it's a brand new rig, throttle sticks.
Well, brand new to him.
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
Throttle sticks, and he launches forward, and it claps pretty hard on the top. We're like 10 minutes off the trailer on this obstacle with a new to him rig. Super bummer. And that happens, and she's like, see, I told you.
Well, it's funny. You can see in that video, too, if you watch her, she's unimpressed during that whole roll.
Oh, yeah.
She's just like watching it happen like, God, you guys never listen to me.
I told you guys. It was obvious.
We're over here like, Colby, shut up. Like, you're going to make him feel bad. Like, it's fine, bud. It's okay. Don't be a dick.
But we really try to promote, like, you can make it happen. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't do things because they're like, man, I don't know. And it's like, no, you just make it happen. Like, it's not that hard. Figure it out. And we like to show that you can make it happen. We put Colby, anytime she wants to wheel with us, she's with us. we try to promote cleaning up the trails because it is, I mean, to keep the trails open, I don't want to see crap on the trail, you know what I mean? I want to see the beautiful trails.
Right.
It makes you feel good when you pick it up.
Yeah.
Too.
And then,
you're like, look at me, I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
We want to promote like no pressure. Like there's a lot of obstacles I go to. I have no shame. Like we'll go out today, and if there's something that I just don't feel today, and you'll be like, you got to do it. Like, I mean, I do love the encouragement.
Sure.
But there's sometimes I'm just like, nope. And they're like, oh, come on, you're Bronson with wrecked gear. And I'm like,
yep,
exactly. And Bronson with wrecked gear says today,
we're not doing that.
I ain't doing it.
No.
You know, it took me like 3 times to do Kring's Crack. Like I kept going up to it and being like, I'm doing it. And then I'm looking up at it and I'm like, I don't like it. You know, and I had them like, you promised if we drove out here. And I was like, I did. And I'm sorry, but I'm not. Like, it's okay to wheel at your level. And we just try to encourage like all the stuff that we do, I guess. And it's been cool because it has helped so many people.
Sure.
For us too, like we have the YouTube channel, so we can't break. We have to have a new video next week.
Right.
We have a lot of people.
We're like, if it's too sketchy, we're like, bro, we got another video we got to put out
right there.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a lot. Well, we have a lot of challenges.
If you want to watch something next week, you're gonna let me cop out on this one.
we get challenged a lot. They're like, oh yeah, you think we'll have watched your stuff? You think let's go? And I'm like, we'll go.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll video you doing crazy stuff, and you can be the star.
Sure.
And I want you to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you can hit me up anytime. If you're going to do something cool, like, if I can be there, I promise.
We're in the business of making people look good for sure.
There you go.
But I got to be wheeling next weekend, too. Otherwise, if my stuff catastrophically breaks, I don't have content
You're
for
out.
months.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
You're hiking.
The channel, my viewers don't get anything. You know, it's like if your equipment went down.
Right.
Then you couldn't get it on order because it was back ordered. You'd be like, what am I going to do?
No.
I got people expecting to
gotta make it happen.
We started this podcast 3 years ago, and we committed to doing one time a week. And a few times, we've always gotten one out a week, but sometimes they've been a day late or something.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. The emails, the text. Where the hell's my episode? What's going on?
We've had it, but how humbling is that,
It's
man?
cool.
Like,
it is cool.
Because I did the same thing, and I was like, oh, come on, guys. Like, you got to be understanding. And I'm like,
just
wait
like
a minute.
a week or two ago, our buddy Mike was harassing you. Where's my video? He ran the trail with us. We're putting a video on, so he's like, where's my highlight reel?
It is super humbling, though,
it is
having
cool.
people like expecting and like can't wait to see what you're going to put out next. So that's really, I'm sure you can appreciate.
Yeah.
how cool
Totally.
that is.
It's fun. Yeah. And it's it's a job. It feels like a job. I mean, it's been go this weekend, and I'm like, trying to connect with everybody, and I want to go wheeling too. So that's why I'm like, today, okay, got you guys in the morning. We got breakfast. We go do this and go do some wheeling and have fun today. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of work behind the scenes that people don't realize. And you guys are way more in the editing. So talk about, you go out and get all this footage. I don't know how many hours or whatever, and how many cameras you got going.
I can tell you all of it.
Yeah,
I can tell you it all.
So yeah, just kind of walk through. I'm going out wheeling, like today, for example. You're going to go out wheeling, and what tonight you spend 3 hours in the camper editing, or how's that all work?
So for us, and this isn't the right way by any means.
This is our dynamic.
We just do what we do, but so we'll collect all this. Like before we left, like it was kind of a rush because it was slow time. For us, like summer, we can't wheel in 120
hot.
days. We
so
try.
Hot.
We'll do it like once or twice. And we're like,
you'll hear me complaining in the videos if it's a day run. I'm like, I'm super sweaty. Please like this video for my
sweat.
So
we were kind of like suffering on content, and we had to like get something done. So we went to we have Proving Grounds Racing is really close to us. They do Ultra 440, 400.
Oh yeah.
So I called them. I'm like, hey man, I've had a lot of people asking me about water and tires, and I was like, it was second nature to me because someone showed me in person. But I was like, if I didn't know, it'd be cool. And I said, I've got a lot of people asking about and requesting a video on it. I was like, can I go to your shop, put it on the lift, make a quick tutorial? And I was like, I need content for the week I'm going to be there. And he was like, yeah, you better get over here. And we put it up. But you have to think about that. But what we try to do when it's busy, because now we'll have no suffering for content because we're going to wheel every weekend.
This is the beginning of wheeling season.
Right.
We'll get probably 2-3 videos of Trail Hero, and then we'll probably get we're going to try to do 4 or 5 rig reviews,
right?
At least, and then we're going to be we're going to be good for content,
right?
And then when we get back, I lock down. So I do a day job, And then I'll get off. I take like a 30-minute break, and then I just get on the computer. And then, each video somehow always comes out to about 2.5 to 4 hours worth of raw footage.
Yeah.
And you just got to run through and skim through it and take out all the dead space. And then you process it from there. And usually I'm getting quicker and quicker every time. But I had a friend that was a YouTuber that does really good. He does good editing. He's good at videography, and he once told me it takes about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Or no, for every minute it takes 2.5 to 3 hours of editing. Was like the average for a good high quality video. And that was like blew my mind. I've gotten quicker at it, but it was like I started breaking it down. I'm like, dude, you were right.
Yeah.
Because we'll get 4 hours of footage, and I'll work. So we drop on Thursdays. I try to start on Monday, which I'm usually not very motivated because I just got off the weekend and I'm tired. So I get a little done, and then Tuesday and Wednesday I grind hard, and then somehow like every Thursday I'm like scrambling for a thumbnail and like trying to get it out on time. Like I can't break that habit yet, but it takes me 4 hours, and I work almost anywhere between 4 to 6 hours a night.
Wow.
Editing.
So we both have 9 to 5s that we work, and
And then if you break your rig on top of that, you got time in that. And time on going out every weekend, which sounds like a bunch of work, and it is, but it's exactly what we want to do, and we love it. And wheeling every weekend's great. Doing the footage for our friends and our viewers and us is great. So it is a lot of time, but it is such a blast.
Yeah.
But the editing part is pretty...
He calls it his part-time job.
Yeah, well, for sure it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had never, I've never done any like classes or anything. It was all self-taught.
Okay.
I was just like everybody else. I bought a GoPro. I was like, this is sweet. I'm gonna go get some stuff on
We're
the
doing
trail.
videos now, guys.
Then I came back and I was like, I'm going to show my buddy this one cool line. And then I had 4 hours on this SD card, and I'm thumbing through this silly little GoPro screen, and I couldn't find it. And I'm just like, I got to do something about this.
Yeah.
And then I just did some of the crappiest edits you could ever imagine for a very long time. But at least I could get like, hot spots. And then it was like a challenge to make it exciting, because I grew up watching like BTG and Built to Grind, and then Undertakers younger when they were like breaking all the Arizona stuff. And I was like, man, and then they slowed down, didn't do YouTube videos. And I was like, man, like there's nothing for me to watch. I was like, I want to put something I want to watch, and then doing our own videos.
There you go.
Yeah, most of our videos are just stuff that we would want to watch if we're sitting there on YouTube.
But a lot of people ask, like, what do we run? It's mainly GoPros. We just got a 360. I've got a Skydio drone. We're really open. We've had a lot of help on our channel. If anybody ever wants to ask, if they want to know anything about anything, we're super open because we encourage it.
Sure.
Perfect.
There you go.
Our camera's done recording.
Speaking of GoPro, it's like, hey, I'm over here.
Left the chat.
So we just had like an hour or more of time. Like, there'll probably be 15, 20 seconds of this whole thing in our reel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that shows you how much we edit out. But yeah, I mean, we're super open. We use Premiere Pro to edit our videos. I would recommend anybody to jump right into it, because I went through like easier systems. Don't do that. Just jump into Premiere. It gives you everything. It has lots of help
learning
on
the
YouTube.
System once is probably a lot easier.
Because you learn it wrong on every other system.
Yeah.
They don't have support.
Yeah.
So do Premiere Pro or better, and then stick with it.
Now you got a couple big screens, monitors. What are you doing there? You got.
So I've got like, I started with a garage TV, and I was like doing it on laptops, and I was like, you know what? Like, it'd be cool to edit on this big TV. So then I had like a little monitor, and I'd hook the laptop up to that. Well, I've now got like 2 65-inch screens in the garage, and then I've got that I work off of, so I can like split things up. And
they're just kind of like stacked on top of each other. Here's one on the desk and then one right above it.
But it's like nothing special. Like, we've seen like Flex Rocks and Rollovers, his video editor, like his is like a shrine. It's like so beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's
Ours
gorgeous.
is pretty ghetto, but it's kind of like, it's like shop garage. Like, think of a garage head, like his video editing studio. It's kind of like
Bronson,
little desk in the garage with some huge TVs.
Bronson just picked up one of those gaming desktop computers for the fast processor to be able to edit the video.
Yeah, I was gonna say you must have some crazy hard drive space and some fast.
Just a lot of external hard drives.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I learned that you want to keep everything in case you want to bring something back.
So that's a good question. So archiving, so all these videos you've done, I mean, how do you have them stored? Like,
very
in the safe
messily.
Yeah,
it stresses me out.
You don't have like hard drives in the safe and the gun safe or something.
We should.
Yeah,
if it were my way, it would be. But
we need to go back and label our footage and stuff like. And get
I mean, it's out there on YouTube, so that should be like
as long as they don't take our YouTube channel away in the future, it crashes or something.
When you're editing with like an old YouTube video, like you can download it, but it downloads at a lower quality. And then on top of that, like you've already put like background music to it, or maybe you cut down the sound or you amplified it because it was a high moment there, but on a later video, it's like totally throws your whole vibe off the video. So you really want the raw footage. So you kind of just bank it. And we've banked it. It's just really messy, and it's a problem we need to deal with. We need to go label it all so it's easier to get to.
So luckily, Chris, who I wish was here, and you can meet him, but he's our IT technical guy. He runs all this soundboard stuff. Yeah, and he loves it. He loves editing and doing all that stuff. But he's very adamant. We have these hard drives that live in our saves, and every time he comes up, he's updating everything. So he's got all the raw footage on a hard drive. We got that backed up. We got like triple redundancy.
That's insurance.
Which is crazy. And, 176 episodes or whatever later. But, I commend him on being so diligent about that because...
you have one loss.
Yeah.
Like a lost hard drive or lost footage, it'll break your heart.
We did.
Like,
we did.
Yeah.
You lose sleep over it. So it is really good to do that.
Yeah, we had a technicality once and lost some footage. And it's like, damn, and you can't reproduce it, but... It is what it is, right?
We've had some
it's part of the game.
Corrupted SD cards.
Yeah.
That one's heartbreaking.
And then it's always on the best footage, too.
Yeah.
It's
You're
never
like, yes. Actually, that one rollover where Colby was like he was going to roll on a gnarly waterfall, that one was corrupted.
No
We're like,
way.
no.
It broke my heart.
He managed to get it back, though.
Oh, thank God.
Luckily. I don't know if we could ever get it back. But
So along those lines, like right now, I've got, your podcast, there's 3 others, and I tried uploading this morning to our Dropbox and stuff so Chris could start editing, and I don't have the bandwidth here to do it. I got to go over to the hotel or something and do it, but I want to get this stuff off the drive because if something happens, I want to get it off my plate. Here you go, Chris. It's all you. I did my part.
Yeah. Yeah, and if it's in Dropbox, it's more... readily available and more ensured that it's going to be there.
Yes, exactly. So anyways, that's all the behind the scenes stuff that people don't get to see, but it's obviously a labor of love for you guys. I commend you guys for making it happen, putting out a quality product that's fun to watch. And I'm sitting there watching 5 videos in one night that you spent freaking 50 hours editing, and I get to watch it in an hour and a half or so. So I can totally appreciate that. So
we're super appreciative for anyone who does watch our videos. Like it's so humbling. Like
it means so much.
Yeah,
we comment to every single comment and everything because it's just like we feel super fortunate and we value people.
Sure.
Commenting or taking their time to watch what we're doing. Like, you don't got to watch what we're doing. Like, we're just living our life. Like, it's really nice that people want to see what we're up to.
Well, like you say, you're documenting, what you're doing. And it does come across very genuine and real. And that's I think that draws a lot of people to it. Yeah. It's not this fabricated, oh, look at this obstacle I'm doing and all that stuff. So, you got any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out and talk about?
Yeah, so... Axel Helmets was our first big sponsor, and Axel's like one of the most genuine, nicest guys ever, and it was such a...
He believed in us when nobody else did.
There you go.
Yeah, he really did, and it was, no pun intended, but a no-brainer. I mean, having a helmet, and he's so relaxed about it. Like, he told me, I was like, well, what do I got to do? I'm new to this stuff. Like, what do you want from me? And he's like, you just be you.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't expect you to wear a helmet all the time. Like, they're not comfortable to wear all the time. You don't have to have it every second. He says, you're going to do something that you need a helmet, put it on. He's like, that's all I ask. Like, if you're going to do something, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And we've really lived to that. Like, and now it's second nature. And, that rollover we keep talking about, he had a helmet on, and he had a dent in his helmet because when he came in, he curled, and it kind of whiplashed. For some reason, he tucked his head kind of just naturally, and it, like, hit. And when he got out, he looked at his helmet, and he's like, oh, my gosh, like, if that was my skull, like there's a dent in my helmet,
sure,
like a good one, and you know, like wearing helmets, like, and again, I'm with Axel, total vibe of like, hey, you don't have to have it on all the time. Like, if you're going up the sand dunes, like, okay, you know. But if you're going to do something, you're like, wow, that's sketchy. Like, put it on. Like,
you know, that's a good point. I'm seeing more and more people wearing helmets, especially out here in this extreme environment. And I don't have one. I should get one. It took me years skiing to wear a helmet.
Here.
Is he here?
Yeah, he
okay.
is.
Got him.
All right.
He's super nice and funny.
Okay, we'll talk to. Does he have a blue one that matches our buggies here?
He might. I don't know. He might. I don't know.
I'm not sure if he's got blue.
He's got some cool colors.
Yeah.
He's always coming out with new stuff.
Should probably wear a pink helmet.
It was
Hey,
awesome because we like to stand behind the products. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we're obviously, you know, we're super genuine, and like, I'm not going to run something that's just like, you know, it's because they sponsor me. Like, because then it feels fake. I've been in sales my whole life, and the only thing I can sell is the stuff that I love.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well
so
said.
That was really cool to get with him, and it influenced us to wear helmets more, which I needed to.
Yep.
So worked out perfect. And then, you know, we're very standoffish on partnering because first of all, we didn't understand it very much, and we got offers all the time, but it was again people that I was just like, would I buy this?
Right.
I'm like, no. Why would I run
behind it? Yeah.
Why would I run it? Just because it's, you know, they gave me some product or, you know, whatever. So we were like stayed away from it. And then, you know, when we were on Flex Rocks and Rollovers, we got to meet some really good acquaintances and built some good relationships. And over time, super fortunate, lucky, got partnered with the BFG, which is like the best tire for what we do. Like,
exactly.
Everything has their ups and downs, but like for a rock crawler, I mean, look at all the We Rock guys. Everyone's running that for what we do for a reason, because their compound's good. You know, every tire has advantages and disadvantages. Their advantages, they have like some really good compound, and then KC Highlights is literally 30 minutes from our doorstep. They're in Williams, Arizona, like this small little, you know, touristy town but they've been there for like 50 years in the same location. And you know, that was like the first part I ever put on one of my off-road vehicles because I had to have the KC Daylight. That was, it was so cool with the smileys.
Exactly.
And then when we got the opportunity to partner with them,
we got some KC representatives in our camp here.
Dude, we got to partner with KC
man.
and become part of the KC family. It was like mind-blowing. So I'm like, wow, full circle. But we've been fortunate to like really only deal with the people we want to deal with. So that way I'm comfortable. Like, people ask questions, and we get people all the time like, well, you know, the BFGs, don't they have like, you know, aren't their sidewalls not strong? Because we're from Arizona. The rock is so sharp. And I'm like, you're right, man. So you have to be a little more careful.
Yeah.
But there's a reason, because it has more flex, which gives it more performance. But yeah, like there's a give and take on everything.
Sure.
I used to run the Super Swampers. Now, those I'd have to run at like 3 pounds, and they had pretty okay compound, but they were bomb proof. Like I could go anywhere. I would never. Who needs a spare when you have those? You know what I mean? There's a give and take. But for the level that we're trying to go with right now and get to and advance, like BFG was perfect timing, and it was the tire that we would have liked to be on, and it just worked out. But those and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all we're
BFG, KC,
with.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
So we've done the same thing on our podcast. We don't have any sponsors. We have you know, our we start out with Patreon.
Oh, we made one of those. We need to promote it.
Yeah, so it was, you know, and when we got going and things were moving along, and it's like, okay, we got a little bit of a following, you know, maybe, you know, we'll just throw it out there. If somebody wants to throw us a few dollars, great, to help compensate, because, you know, we had thousands of dollars in gear and stuff, and it's not our date. Yeah, this doesn't make any money. We're you know, it's coming out of our pocket, but we do it because we love it and get the stories out there, and I wouldn't change it. But I'm like, hey, if somebody wants to be part of it, let's get involved. And I was Chris and I were humbled by the outpouring of support, dollar-wise, financially. And I'm like, okay, we got something going here. And then Austin from Irate 4x4 got in contact with us. He ended up camping right next to us at KOH a couple years ago. And he goes, hey, I can do the same thing that Patreon's doing. And you know, I'll take care of you guys, you know. And I'm like, well, I got to compensate you for your time for setting this up. So he did it. So now we got Snail Trail 4x4. We got us. Metal Cloak, Mattson from Metal Cloak, his podcast is the Modern Jeeper is going on there. So we're starting to bring things on board. Talking to Wes yesterday from Beat Not Baby, he's like, dude, I want to jump on that, you know?
That's
so it's
rad.
like it's in the 4-wheel drive community, right?
Yeah.
You know, because Patreon takes their cut, their business, we get it, but I'd rather somebody take the cut that's in our business that's buying parts with it for their buggy or something.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
So it's been an evolution for us, but Element Fire Extinguisher, I've been promoting them.
We have one of those.
Yeah, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I bought 100 of them to sell out here because I think it's a great product, and so I'm hoping to start to partner with them and stuff. And then Old Elk Whiskey we've been promoting, and you know. They throw us a few bottles here and there and stuff, but we don't have like a serious like, oh, I'm getting a paycheck every month from somebody.
Right?
Speaking of Element, we had a rig catch on fire. It wasn't in one of our groups; it was some of our friends, and his rig caught on fire. And 5 guys went and got fire extinguishers. 1 worked.
There you go, and they were the 5-pounders,
and it didn't work enough to get it under the put out.
Yeah, that buggy is gone now.
And that's where we went completely Element, because you lose your charge under the bumps and all the conditions and the hot and cold when you have a charged unit. You know, but with the Element being all chemically
so compact too.
It's chemical, so like nothing in there is to go bad. It's you're gonna strike it and it's gonna go. Like after seeing that, I was like, that's it. Like I got rid of everything I had, and I was like, I got to go with this, because that was a scary story. He lost his buggy,
dude. It happens so fast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get tranny fluid on a hot exhaust. It just you see it in Ultra 4 and stuff, and I've seen it too many times, and I'm like, I don't want to go out that way.
It's a total.
No kidding.
Like, thank goodness you're okay if you get out, but if you got out, like the guy who had that happen to, his buggy was a total loss.
Yeah,
not one
nothing.
redeemable part.
Yeah, that sucks. And you poured all that hour
Heartbreaking.
time. Yeah. No, so the big thing that sold it for me was a normal fire extinguisher, like you're talking about, 5-pounder is like 9 to 11 seconds, which sounds like a long time, but it really isn't. But 50 seconds on
that's
that,
impressive.
it's like, okay, and then I started learning all the other benefits, and it's like, you just proved the story that I've been telling, because I've done it before. I've grabbed fire extinguishers and they didn't work, or they just last a second because they're not properly maintained. The powder's all compacted in the bottom, so on and so forth. And I guarantee we go around here, everybody's got a fire extinguisher. When was the last time you serviced it? When was the last time you serviced it?
The one in our camper?
I'm guilty.
Nope.
Yeah,
I've
guilty.
never known how to service one.
Right. Where do you go? You can't do it
you
yourself.
go to the fire department?
Yeah, you got to take it somewhere. Well, there's the fire department sometimes, depending on where you live, will do say, hey, come this week, and we got a company out here. So, but you got to take it to a fire extinguisher company.
Oh, wow.
That's certified to service them and make sure they're.
That sounds like
working.
I don't have time for that.
Exactly, right? Right. So, anyway, but to that point, it's cool because, keep coming back to the word genuine. I mean, it's like, we're passionate about wheeling. You guys are passionate about putting a video out and doing all that. We're doing the podcast thing. I mean, it's just a super cool community. And people sharing info and, whatever means it is. So, yeah, totally cool.
Off-road community is probably the best community I've ever seen.
It is unbelievable.
It's really cool,
and it's really, I think it comes down to, like, you have to be, like, to be in this, you have to be passionate. There's so many struggles with broken parts. It tests your patience. And if you can deal with all that and you know what it's like and you still want to do it,
right? When
you meet someone else who's into off-roading, you're
like-minded.
You've been through this too.
Well, it's even like some of my friends, they see the pictures and stuff, and they're like, and then I'm telling them stories about the trip, and they're like, I want to go. I want to check this out. They've never been four-wheeling before, or, nothing like we do. And so bring them out, and they've become part of the camp friends now. And then, some of them have gone out and bought rigs, they totally get hooked. So
and we're the type of people that are harassing them. You got to get your own rig, bro. You got to do it. You got to do it.
We love, I got a buddy over here. He was sitting here. Samurai James got this Black Samurai over here, and he dove in hard and deep. He's got three rigs. He's selling one, but he's blowing money left and right. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, but not sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're making memories that you just can't put a price on.
Yeah, no kidding.
So So yeah, anything else you guys want to cover? Want to go wheeling? What do you want to do?
I think we should go wheeling.
I think we should go wheeling.
Yeah.
We've been talking about all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen our channel. We're fiends, so now I'm all itching. Let's go check out. I've never been on this Smurf trail.
The Smurfette.
We're fiends, and we've kind of accumulated other fiends that also like to go wheeling and stuff.
Yeah.
So we got to make content for them too.
well, we got to end this this podcast with your comment that you always start out your videos with.
Oh.
Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy.
There we go. And with that, we are out.
Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy. So how cool is that, man?
That was awesome.
You know, they're just... like he said, he's out there just documenting, wheeling, and they go out almost every weekend with their crew, wheeling in Arizona.
Right.
And, he does a really good job of editing. It's very cool vibe, consistency to it. The part where they pick up trash off the trail and promote that, and
that's awesome because it needs to be done, and people need to be
for
educated.
Sure. Yes, and they were afraid it comes across a little, to like, oh, look at us, we're picking up trash, and
Preachy.
why aren't you picking? Yeah, and it doesn't. It does not come across that way at all. It's actually kind of funny, and they make it's like, oh, look what I found out here. Here's a U joint to raisined up Toyota or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, and all kinds of water bottles and cans and stuff, obviously. But it's cool. They're hardcore wheelers, and it's the passion rings out in their videos, and meeting them in person, it just solidified that. All these kindred spirits out there at Trail Hero that are all out there to wheel and have a good time, and it was super cool to hook up with them and get to know them better. So and wheels with them. So and their crew.
Right.
So yeah, definitely check out their YouTube channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribing already. Leave some comments on their videos and stuff. All that stuff helps.
Sure.
They're building up their channel. They've done a ton so far, but it is highly entertaining. And he keeps them around 12, 15 minutes, so it's
that's perfect.
You don't have to sit there through an hour and wade through a bunch. It's very good content all the way through.
Perfect for people with ADHD.
ADHD, like you can't even say it.
ADHD, ADD.
So yeah. Check it out. Wrecked Gear on the YouTube channels, and then also, their IG Wrecked Gear. And Bronson and Jess, yeah. So thanks again, guys, for carving out some time. I know it was super busy, and they got a ton of content as well, and editing videos way more than editing audio.
I can only imagine. I mean, to think about how much data we compile just from doing an audio show, I can't even imagine how you manage all the data, raw data that comes from video.
Well, he talked about that, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just insane. But hats off to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and we're big fans here at Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, what else? Just to wrap up this episode, the King, I shouldn't say, the Ultra Force series.
Yeah.
Is at Legends of the Fall, the Nationals.
That's right.
The final here at Disney, Oklahoma.
Disney, Oklahoma.
And the course looks insane. They're going down these waterfalls, literally.
Yeah.
And it's a big course. And reactions from the drivers initially here are like, it's going to be a crazy race. So looking forward to seeing that this weekend. We're recording the Thursday before this event. Doing a little time traveling here on Podcast Land.
That's right. We'll give you results at some point.
So next podcast, we'll give the results. Looking forward to seeing Levi Shirley's going to be racing with his brand new car.
Oh, Linda.
Is he calling it Linda?
I think so.
Linda. Really?
Yeah, I think the name
it's
of
my mom's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so he keeps them all in the L's, right?
You're exactly.
So Loretta.
Laverne.
Laverne.
Isn't it Laverne?
No, come on. You are so bad tonight. Loretta is the big one. Okay. Lillian? No.
No, it's not Lillian. Laverne. It's not.
No, it's not Laverne.
Loretta, Linda. And
oh, my gosh.
Shit.
You're killing me right now.
Le shit.
Pepe Le Pew. That was the name of his first car. It's for sale.
Yeah, I know. I don't have that kind of money.
85 grand.
Oh, shit. Let
me nice.
That's how I have that in my wallet.
I wouldn't doubt it. Hashtag Chris Money. Oh,
I can't remember the name of his other car.
Anyways, so there's going to be a ton of action.
Shannon Campbell's going to be there. Absolutely. Well, the whole Campbell crew.
So, yes.
Gomez brothers.
I mean, everybody's there, right? This is the Nationals. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Justin Hall's not there.
He's got a good reason.
Celebrated the birth of his first child. So congratulations, Rock Hard Racing, Justin Hall, number 13, on your Colton. Colton. The name of the little boy. So,
little bouncing baby boy.
Yeah, so congrats on that. Super exciting. Expanding the race team, as they say.
Came out with a Hurst shifter in his hand.
Do they still use Hurst shifter?
I don't know.
Chris. Oh, anyways. And then the other notable going into this race is Pip Justice is racing Zandy's car.
That's right.
And who's co-dog?
Justin
Wicks.
Exactly.
So Justin Wicks is co-dog in this race. So definitely going to be following them. Of course, Chip McLaughlin and the whole deal, and just coming back. I'm so excited. I mean, no small feat coming out of that tragedy, but you know, it's easy to say, oh yeah, well that's what Zandy would want, and it's absolutely what he wanted, I'm sure, but. You know, to spend those nights in the shop wrenching on that car and getting it to a track and putting it on the line again, man, the emotional conquest that you got to go through to make that happen is just incredible. So hats off to, you know, the Rufus Racing team, and hoping for the best, and just want to see them kick some ass this week at Disney, Oklahoma, the Legends of the Falls. So anyways, with that, I don't have anything else here on my notes for this episode. It was freaking great. Trail Hero 2022, once again, absolutely epic, and put it on your calendars for next year. The dates are already out there for next year, so make it happen.
Is that a wrap for Trail Hero?
No, I'm still going to talk about it on future episodes. There's some more stories that didn't come out. You were cutting me off on the Trail Hero update that I had with your slander.
My slander?
Your slander from slurring from.
I may have to
drunkenness.
apologize to the listeners for my intoxication, but I was at home and I didn't have to work the next day, so I let loose.
You let your hair down, as we'd like to say. You let your hair down. So, and that's fine. We've all been there, done that. This is Wheel and Wine and Whiskey for God's sakes.
It's a drinking show.
It's a drinking show, and we. There we go. We don't drink as much as we used to, but sometimes we drink a little too much on the episode. But hey, there it is. And gosh darn it, people like us. So,
you're going to do that again.
So there it is. All right, man. Well, with that, you want to give them how they can contact us?
Yeah, actually, absolutely. So you can reach Jason or Chris or Lorenzo at wheelingwinewhiskey.com. That's our email address. You can also go to our website, www.wheelingwinewhiskey.com, which the link has tons of links there. And
brand new link up there for the Element Fire Extinguisher. How about that?
It's been updated, yeah. Element Fire Extinguisher's there.
So we're keeping the code alive. The discount code is still alive for the Element Fire Extinguisher. If you don't have one, now's the time to get it. We are running low on inventory. I am happy to say we have been very successful with our first round of purchasing here of the Element Fire Extinguisher. So if you don't know what it is, go check it out at elementfire.com. Go to wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. It'll come right up on the it's called the shop merchant
www
shop. Now because we have the element in there, it's not just merch. Right. You're welcome to buy some merch too. Bundle it up,
sweatshirts.
But the discount code is still alive. If you don't know the discount code, you should know. But feel free to DM me, and I will send you the code. And yeah, we'll keep that on for a little bit longer, and then it's we're coming up on the holidays and stuff, and we're gonna have to go back to full retail because the price of milk's going up, man,
and diesel
and everything. Thank you, Joe Biden.
That's
Anyways,
right. Wow.
All right,
and then of course Stacy David. I just remembered his name.
Yes, there it is. Oh my gosh.
He was the host for Trucks on Power.
Stacy David, that's exactly right. Yeah, it was cool. I'm Power Band, right?
Power Block.
Yeah, Power Block Hour. Yeah. Okay,
Spike TV.
That was it. Okay, yeah, and it was pretty cool because I recognized him, but I didn't watch the show much. And then, you were like all fanboyed out.
I wanted to meet him. I've always enjoyed his shows, and it was super cool to get a chance to meet him for a moment. So, but anyway, moving on. So. Phone number 408-800-5169. Definitely give that a call. You can leave a voice message and it'll get played on the show.
Okay, and then so you got Stacy David. Now, do you remember the car that's for sale from Levi Shirley?
No.
Starts with an L.
Laverne.
Layla.
Oh, Layla. Shit.
Got me on my knees.
Yeah, I just bought it. I just sent him a Venmo.
Well, there you go. With that, Chris is working out shipping right now, and that's all I've got.
Well, Rodney's over there. He's going to pick it up for me and bring it back.
Perfect.
So with that, what?
We're out.